G'day viewers, welcome to another super cool, super helpful repair video from the Goat Shed, located in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. Now today is Saturday, March 29th, 2025. It's 20 degrees Celsius outside and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, raining quite heavy, or steady, I shouldn't say heavy, quite steady, and we're going to have rain all day today. It's quite overcast and cloudy outside, so it's a rather bleak sort of day. But still being early fall, we're not going to get cooler weather for about another month. So that's, you may hear the rain pitter-pattering on the roof. Today we have something rather unique to us here in the Goat Shed. We have an Addaball game, which is Gottliebs Majorettes from 1964. Now,
that's why the cabinets are very similar.
Indeed. So, there was 425 of these made, so it is a fairly collectible machine. And it's model number 204. The machine that preceded this was Bowling Queen, and the one immediately after was Seashore. This game was designed by Wayne Nyans with the artwork by Roy Parker. Now I think Parker died in about 65 thereabouts, so this would have been getting up around some of his last artworks.
Yeah.
What was the game we had?
Well, his last machine was Mayfair, apparently.
Mayfair, was it?
Yeah.
I just saying, what did we have there here the other day that was a Parker? Oh, Ice
Show.
Ice Show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does beautiful back glasses.
Yeah, so this is 2 Addaball games in a row. But what we thought we'd do, there's a difference in Addaballs between the 60s and the 70s, and the fact of the matter is, it's the ball stepper. So, in the 70s, in games like Ship Ahoy.
Or that Tiger one we had here.
Yeah, or we had a Gottliebs Tiger here a while ago. They have what they call a light box step unit and a ball count unit. So the ball count's the traditional unit, and the light box step unit is the one for the extra balls, and that's where the balls light up in the form of squares or something like that in the back box. That was to overcome the gambling laws. I'm sure I don't have to tell you people in the United States about that. So this one only has 1 step unit, and I think this one goes 9 steps. So I haven't got the schematic yet. I had a PDF copy, and I've got that out getting printed as we speak in about A1 format to make it much easier for us to read. But I'm going to make the wild assumption that this unit, it counts up 5 balls, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as a ball's awarded, so we'll play 1 ball and the ball gets drained, so now we're on ball 4, this is all sticky. And if you won 2 extra balls on that ball, on ball 4, ball 5 and ball 6, you saw that step unit's not functioning real good at all. And then down it goes, and it decrements with each ball. Look at that, the reset arm sticking. Did you see that? That went all the way back. Now that's a classic example of a sticking reset arm. And that's why we always say it's best to pull these right down and do a good job on it. You know what we say, viewers. What is it? Do it once. Do it right. Now, I'll show you the other side of this unit in a sec. Graham's started to pull the score reels apart. Look how grotty that one is there.
They're all bad.
They're pretty bad. That one's really bad. Look at that. So we're going to clean all those up.
But it's only from lack of use. Like the machine's in great nick.
Yeah. Well, strip it down. We just posted a picture of the back glass. It's in pretty good nick. I'm not sure if the owner's getting a new back glass. So
I don't think he needs it, Kim.
Essentially what we're doing, the cabinet's going to get rebuilt. Or repaired, I should say. The back box has got it's delaminating on the ply. It's going to get a new front on it.
Yeah.
And it's going to get repainted and re-stenciled. Well overhaul the rat trap reels. Once again, we've done a previous video on rat trap reels, so have a look at that if you're not sure. We've probably got to replace some of these. I think one broke off, didn't it, Graham?
Yeah. Well, actually, we could have not replaced the whole lot of them, maybe.
Right.
We'll see how we go.
Now, you can get those these days.
So, I think all the lights have got to be rebuilt anyway. They're pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
All right. And I think we've got a bell down here, haven't we, that's burnt out?
Well, this one's burnt out.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm not really sure about the next one either, but...
Oh, well, this one, viewers, you can see the edge of the bell.
No, it's completely gone.
She's welded together.
Yeah.
So that's been on for a long time.
And the other one's moving, but yeah. But
anyway, they'll all come out.
Well, we'll clean them all up. We'll
fix them up.
Yeah, make them look nice.
All right, let's get back to this ball count unit. I'll just bring that back to reality there. So, on an ordinary pinball machine, for argument's sake, the Golden Arrow I've got behind me, being a wedge head but from 78, it's got the ball count unit, but it counts from ball 1 to ball 5 when you start a new game. It's a total resetting stepper, but this one's an incremental stepper, so this has the subtract coil on it. So we've just unsoldered the wires off the subtract coil and off the add coil because we're going to start pulling it apart. Let's have a little look at around the other side here. Let's get a handle on this. So here it is, and what you're going to find is that this reset arm here, now remember, this is the reset arm, this is the subtract pawl, and this is that pesky shoulder screw with the nut on the back. Remember, there's a nut on the back side of this. So what we're going to find is that this is actually, yeah, look at that, see, it's binding, it's not doing its job. Very, very slow. Now, the main reason is probably the subtract pawl here itself will most likely be sticking. Even though it's sprung loaded, I'll just put a bit of a... Oh no, it's not, so it's actually the subtract pawl itself. So that shoulder screw will come off. There's a set of switches here, like a normal ball count unit. You know, one will be to cut power to the coil, and one will be to tell it it's at home or zero position. Then we've got, I guess this is a knocker probably rings when you get an extra ball, would it, Graham?
Yeah, it should, yeah.
I'm going to imagine. Like I said, I haven't got the schematic, but we've got that switch on there. So we're going to pull this unit right down and clean it up and make it as good as possible as new again. And this is that anodized type, there is another word for it, metal. And that cleans up really, really nice, as most of you would know that muck around with these earlier pinball machines. So rather simple in the head here. We've only got 3 relays by the look of it.
Yeah.
And 2 bells.
And no credit meter.
With no replay unit, yeah. Very good. So, yeah, let's get to work. Now, I'm not going to show you on camera how to strip this down because we've done videos on these before. You could consider this to be like a bonus stepper with a subtract part on it and or a replay unit with a subtractor on it. The great thing about the Gottliebs, the frames are pretty well all the same with the exception of the replay unit. It has that extra bit on it. But I could put this frame, you know, a bonus unit of a 1970s game and it would all work, and vice versa. Just having a quick look here. Often this drive arm stop breaks. This is still intact. And the springs are all in pretty good, they haven't been butchered, which is great. we'll be able to reuse those. The torsion spring looks to be in good condition. One thing that we've got to sort of check, we'll jiggle all the wires to make sure this is around the area where they still used to break a bit, I think. So overall, we're going to have a lot of enjoyment doing this game. Be lots of fun. And I'm just looking at a card up there, and that says to do with the adding the balls. So we've got add ball score adjustment, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So there's obviously a plug under the score rail there. There it is. Adjustment plug. So pretty straightforward.
That's why there's only one plate, because you can only get extra balls on 1,000.
Yes. Yeah, there's no plates on 100 and you can't get a match on add a ball.
That's right, yep.
All right, so lots of fun. So we'll show you how that ball count unit comes up. Just something worth mentioning on these older 60 steppers. What we've got a centre punch there now, or just not a centre punch, a punch. We've got to knock that escapement wheel shaft out. They get burred, and they can be a mongrel thing to get off. We've put a bit of penetrating oil down there. He'll manually work that around a couple of times. Some come off easy, some don't. And when we do get it off, I'll show you what the problem is. Right, so just get yourself enough clearance so that the escapement wheel shaft doesn't hit the table, and away you go. Now let me show you what the problem is. Just want to, it's a bit hard to see here, but maybe if we wipe that we dropped a bit of penetrating oil down there to make it easy to come off. Just wipe that off. Yeah, there it is. See, I'm going to try and focus. See where that's where the Allen screw is biting into it, and that is why it wouldn't come out. I've seen nastier ones. So what you do, you're going to get a hobby file, and we'll clean that up just with a small file. And see the little nylon washer there? They're on a lot of the 60s games too. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's not there, but they are meant to be there. So that's just a little trick for you. Now we've got that out, we can carry on and pull it apart.
See what those rivets are like.
Yeah, these rivets, we're talking about maybe having to change some of those. Let's just get a bit of isopropyl. There's a bit of isopropyl, we'll just wipe that off and we'll have a look at these rivets.
Yeah, not too bad.
Oh, okay.
We'll give it a better clean than that later.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah, well. Now, I think people, we showed you what we've been cleaning these with. That's a 3M product. I think we've showed you in a previous video. It's really, really good. Look at that, he's really almost effortlessly cleaning that up. So we just thought we'd share that with you. So what we're going to do now, when Graham's done that, we're just going to remove these two screws. Well, we'll do that now actually, while we've got you here. And then we'll show you the whole unit on the other side, and you'll see how the arm's binding. Quite important that when you take these apart, that you check for broken wire links. They can easily break away right on the edge. We had one on a player unit once. Gee, it gave us hell. Took a long time to find. So while we got them off, we always do check them and do a continuity test across across the line.
Yep.
Now let's just roll this step unit over. Here we go, and you'll see the reset arm is very sticky.
It's not good.
Not good at all. I can feel it biting. You can even feel it in the picture. Whoops, there's my finger in the road. You can even just about feel that in the picture. And look, it's even been doing a bit of rubbing there, so I'm not sure why that was. But anyway, we're gonna take that off, and this is that pesky nut. I'm just going to reinforce this. I can't stress this enough. That nut. Now, the only good news on these particular units is that often this anodised one, that nut will come off pretty easy. Let's try. Now, this one's proved to be a bit tight, so see what he's doing? He's clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and eventually that'll come off. We did spray a bit of WD-40 on the nut there, but this one surprises me. They often come off, but it's sticking very badly, so I probably shouldn't be surprised. I've just got that nut soaking. I dropped a bit of penetrating oil down there. A few moments have passed, but in the meantime, as I said, what I did, I filed that. I'm going to show you what I did. Just pull that right off for me. What I did, you can see where I filed that now. Get that in focus. I mean, you can't get the whole, but the idea is to get the edges off that. And I Dremeled. They call that the spider web. I put the Dremel through there, the 44, what is it, 443, 446 tool, I can't remember. The carbon wire brush. Anyway, now what will happen is, you watch. We'll put that on there and it'll fall on. Look at that.
Beautiful.
It is, isn't it? Makes a big difference. So I think what we'll do now, this nut should come off. He'll keep twisting and turning, and I'd say he's nearly got that off. He's got it off. Yep. There's a little washer on the back of it. Now, what I do here, there's the little washer.
Looks serrated one.
Yeah. What I do now, I take that out, that screw. They sort of get a burr on them. I mean, part A, 1058 and 1059, one's the long one and one's the short one. I think 1059 is the shorter one. This will be a long screw because it's got the subtractor on it. But let's have a little look, and we can see all the marks and grot on it on that shoulder. That'll go on the ultrasonic cleaner. Then we'll polish it up with on the Dremel tool as well.
Yep.
So I didn't really intend to show you that, but it's important that we understand, and that's the reset arm there itself. Now, one thing to look out for on these reset arms, they do get a groove across the top there. Now that one's okay. Let me try and find one for you. That's the file I use to file that escapement wheel shaft. That comes out of a Stanley hobby file kit. That's it there. Comes on a little bracket and you can hang on to it. See the groove in that?
It's pretty bad.
That is really, really bad. That shouldn't be there, of course. That's what it should look like. Okay, so, you know, things do wear out in these games, you know, 50, 60-year-old games. You know, really the youngest game I think we can have is 47-year-old, 46-year-old, and electromechanical, so they're getting on in life. Anyway, like I said, now we've got almost this down to the frame. We've just got to take this drive arm off and...
yeah.
Does that let me wear? Even that's very bindy. Just flick that spring off, Graham. Show the viewers.
Yeah.
Now, has it got any up and down movement?
Near next to none.
Right. A lot of these get really bad up and down movement because
A little bit of slop that way.
they're a rivet and there's two size shoulder screws. I did mention this previously. I have spoken to Steve at Pinball Resource. He's aware of this problem and he's trying to figure out the best way to solve it. So hopefully we'll be able to buy... It's not that wears out, it's not the pawl, the hole in the pawl, it's the rivet. Through lack of lubrication, you've got to put a bit of lube on the here when you finished it.
Yeah.
All right, let's carry on and clean that up, and then we'll show you the end result. Well, here's the finished ball count unit come out of the ultrasonic cleaner. It cleaned up quite nicely. We just polished up the frame there a little bit to make it look a bit nicer. It was a bit dull, and unattractive. But it's all been set back up now. We've cleaned the rivet plate, and we thought a couple of those rivets were a bit grooved. Well, one was a little bit, but we were able to clean the groove out of it with the Dremel tool, so that's great. We've put new braid on and new snowshoes. So they're brand new snowshoes and springs. Brand new braid been put on. So we'll fit that back on when we get it in the machine. But here it is working. So what's this? Let's just make sure it's reset. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it goes 10 steps. I thought it only went 9. Let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, 10 step, righto. That's okay. So the way it must work, as I illustrated earlier, it's working much better now. It'll subtract. I'm going to make the assumption that when you start the game, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'll start you off on 5 balls. And you drain a ball, but if you've got an extra ball on the first ball, that's going to go up 1. When the ball drains, it'll come back down 1, and then you've still got 5 balls. As I mentioned the other day, I have the schematic getting printed. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'll have a better knowledge of that when I get it. But that's okay. So, very happy with the way that's come up. Graham's been in the background there doing the score reels.
Oh, and we just got another delivery this morning as well. Another new machine come in.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, fantastic.
Oh yes, William's fantastic. Very well.
It's fantastic too.
Oh, well, that's a separate issue indeed. Oh, there's Spanky having a bit of a look at what's going on. Have you found much wrong with the score reels?
Oh, they're all pretty well seized up, but just a good clean and new sleeves and check the springs and everything. No, they seem to be pretty good, and the score reels actually cleaned up really nice.
And did any of the stops need adjusting?
Yeah, on the last score reel, the 1000 score reel, it was pretty off, fair whack actually.
The pawl?
Yeah.
It wasn't going cleanly into the tooth?
It was going backwards.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you do those rat trap score reels, once again, I'm not going to go into it. We've done a whole video on rat trap score reels. There are some adjustments. There's 2 major adjustments that you may have to perform. One's called the jam stop and one's on the pawl. Alright, I'll put this back in now and we'll fit the wiper and we'll see what it looks like overall. Okay, so there's the unit all back in the game now. Got the rivet plate bolted onto the unit. Got the wiper plate all done. As I said, we put new springs and everything in that, and braid, and it's working lovely. So here it goes. Typical ball count unit. It starts 1 rivet off and up it goes. Steps back beautifully. What I ended up doing when I put it back, when I went to assemble it, I put 1 extra wind on the torsion spring. I just wasn't happy with it, because when I stepped up once, it was a little sluggish going back. Now it steps back perfectly, and that's generally the way you test them. So all we've got to do now is we can fold that down like that. We can put the extra cotter pin in, or split pin, whatever you want to call it, and we have now done, I can't see, there it is. That's locked in place. We have now done that. So essentially this is the back box of the game. Majorettes. There's only 3 relays, as we pointed out earlier on. All the score reels are done. Graham's just pulling one of those bells apart over there we showed you, the one with a bad coil. I believe the schematic has just arrived. So we'll be able to check what coil that is, but it's probably a typical bell coil. And those score reels, they came up really, really clean, really, really nice, as they generally do. We do have to change, how many guides, Graham?
And we've got 4 in the score reels, of course.
Yes.
And then 2 for the bells.
No, I'm sorry, you're talking about coil sleeves. I'm talking about these guides.
We'll probably change 4.
4 of them, you see? Okay.
Well, 4 are okay.
Right,
down the bottom, but I'd like to change the other ones as well.
Okay. All right, so this restoration's underway. We'll be putting this away soon and wrapping it in plastic and not touching it again for a little while for the reasons of the cabinet has to be done. We'll probably do the motor board when we get a chance. Don't forget to consider subscribing to our channel, giving us the thumbs up for our efforts in making this video for you. Spanky's very happy. So this has been another Goat Shed presentation.